So there is an NBA trade rumor, a trade proposal that will send Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz. Now, in return, the Rockets will get Mike Conley. He used to be a point guard. I mean, he really made his name known for the Memphis Grizzlies. And a player plus a pick they'll be sending to the Rockets. And in return, Utah will get Russell Westbrook. Now, there's another trade scenario, and this is all speculation and rumor and hearsay, that the Rockets are also willing to trade Russell Westbrook to the LA Clippers. Now, to me, let's just talk about the Utah Jazz trade, this trade rumor, this trade proposal. Now, also, they say this will be a huge upgrade for Utah. They just signed Donovan Mitchell. And then when you pair him up with Russell Westbrook, they believe they're a player or two away from really contending and going deep into the playoffs. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, I think Utah should just stay packed. But if you can get out of that contract of Mike Conley, and in return you're going to get Russell Westbrook, I will take a swing at it. All right. Now, this comes a complete shock to me, because I remember making a video talking about DeMarcus Russell signing a 1-year deal with the Houston Rockets, and I thought with DeMarcus Russell, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, I thought the Rockets organization was going to stand packed. They was going to stand down and keep those two players under their contract. They also said that they don't mind if the environment is uncomfortable in the Rockets organization, because James Harden wants a way out of Houston, as well as Russell Westbrook. Okay, so I thought by them signing DeMarcus Cousins, they will have their little small miniature version of a big three, and they could have done a lot of good things in the regular season. Now, how that equates into the postseason is another thing. Now, if DeMarcus, like I said, if Boogie is 75% healthy, I think that's good for the Houston Rockets. And then you also pair Boogie with with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. So, by any stretch of the imagination, I think that would have been a great tandem, a great three tandem. They would have a small big three, but nothing where, now as far as them contending with the Lakers and the Clippers, that's another thing. All right. So back to Russell Westbrook going to Utah. I think that's a great, if they can get out of Mike Conley, I think, and in essence, you're just swapping a bad contract for another bad contract. Okay. But nevertheless, that will be good for Utah, because they need a traditional point guard. To be perfectly honest with you, they should have kept Chris Paul. If you was willing to be okay with the atmosphere, the environment of the Rockets organization being uncomfortable now, you should have been uncomfortable a year ago. All right. You could have kept Chris Paul. All right. And, just see if Chris Paul and James Harden could have worked it out. All right. Even though James Harden was kind of upset at Chris Paul, because Chris Paul was telling him the truth that they have to change the offense. And now it's almost 2 years later, and now they're changing the offense again. All right. So now, if you look at all the signings that the Rockets have done, and they got a new head coach, obviously they're going back to the basics. They're not going to this is not going to be the James Harden show. This is going to be the Houston Rockets show. All right. James Harden, in the first time in a long time, is going to have to play on a traditional format, under a traditional offense. It's not going to be the James Harden show no longer. All right. So, if you see what the Rockets have done, is that they're not, signing talent that can fit around James Harden. They're just signing talent, and they're going to see if the talent that they sign plus the talent they already have on their roster can fit together. All right. They're looking at it as a team more so than the James Harden show. We need to, make James Harden happy, okay? And that's what they've been doing for the past 4 years, making James Harden happy. And in the meantime, they've been struggling, all right? So, as far as Russell Westbrook going to the LA Clippers, I've been hearing that they're not too happy with Patrick Beverley. They're also not been. I'm talking about the Clippers organization. They haven't been happy to several of those players that used to coach under Doc. That was coach under Doc Rivers. Montrezl Harrell. They didn't even request him to come into the office just to BS him around, even though they wasn't going to sign him. They could have signed Montrezl Harrell to an offer sheet because he would have been under the bird rights, and they could have signed him to any type of ridiculous, redunculous type of money, and it wouldn't affect them none. But by them just letting him just walk away, that's them saying, look, we tried this with Doc Rivers players. We even tried this with Doc Rivers philosophy and Doc Rivers as the head coach. We're moving elsewhere, okay? And Doc Rivers, as well as these other players, Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams, they should have recognized this when they gotten Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They should have known that this was the end. They was either going to try to fit in with those two players or fit out, and Montrezl Harrell fit out. All right. And like I'm not going to go too long, make this video any longer. I told you guys what I thought about Montrezl Harrell. Great athletic guy, a player, plays around the rim. He's going to give you putbacks. He's going to, this guy is good around the rim. But when you talk about beyond the rim, nothing has changed. And when you talk about his defense, he was a defensive liability. Now, if the Clippers would have had another big man to somehow cover up Montrezl Harrell's weaknesses, that's one thing, all right? But by him going to the Los Angeles Lakers, AD is going to clean up and cover a lot of Montrezl Harrell weaknesses. They're not going to really ask him to go down to the low post and try to stop a player or two. He's going to hover around the post, but he's just thinking about getting a put in or a put back or a rebound and try to be explosive with the ball. I mean, he's hugely athletic, but athleticism only takes you so far. Eventually, you're going to have to build up on the other things, the other essentials. All right. So that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.